Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Y'all, I don't know if in my life I have ever heard of a story that is as horrible as the one that I'm about to tell you. This, y'all, has a huge trigger warning attached to it. It deals with infants and toddlers. So if this is going to bother you, because it really does have graphic discussion attached to it, then you might not want to watch this video. In all my years of being an investigative reporter and all my years of being, someone who lives and watches crime shows and, finds every documentary that there is, honestly, this is it. This is one of the worst. Y'all, a 2-year-old toddler is dead tonight after his parents let him rot to death in his bed. You heard that right. They let him rot to death in his bed. So who are these wonderful people who could allow their child to rot to death in its bed? This is his mom, Takesha Williams, 24 years old. This took place in Bartow City, in the city of Bartow, in the state of Florida. And the boy's father, 25-year-old Efrem Allen. Again, this is a huge trigger warning, but trigger warning. This story starts in July of 2020 when this baby that we're talking about was 10 months old. Somehow he wandered into a pool at the family's rental, and he had a near drowning experience. Paramedics, EMT doctors, everyone worked for hours to try to save this baby's life. And unfortunately, they got his heartbeat, but he had no brain function. He couldn't open his eyes and he couldn't move any of his extremities. In fact, the doctors told his parents, those two lovely people we just saw, that they would probably be better off taking the baby off of child support, because what kind of a life would this baby endure not being able, with zero brain function? His lovely parents said, nope, we are not going to do that. We're going to take him home with us. So he was sent home on a ventilator with a stomach tube. The only way that this baby could live was with that ventilator and the stomach tube. In addition, home healthcare workers were also assigned to this baby's case to help the parents 3 days a week. And just for a little bit more incentive, or to piss you guys off even more, his mother actually was getting money from the state to take care of her baby, this 10-month-old. So she didn't have to work. She didn't work because she was getting money to take care of him. And oh boy, did she not take care of him. In fact, in October of 2022, October of last year, the parents actually started rejecting the home health care. Now, home health care aides say that they went to the house numerous times, knocked on the door, nobody was there. One time when they let them in, they said, oh no, don't bother him, the baby's asleep. We'll let you see him next time. And there was no next time. The home health care aid agency just stopped trying to even go because the family was non-receptive. They didn't answer the door. They didn't answer the phone. So they essentially stopped getting any home health care home health care that was available to them. So in May of this year, his mother called 911 and said that he's hooked up to a ventilator, but his pulse ox is not working. She told the 911, the dispatch center, it's not an emergency. We don't want lights or anything. Just come here as like a routine check because we don't think it's that big of a deal. So that's exactly what the EMTs did. You guys, when they got there, every single person who has handled this case has said they've never seen anything worse, any child in worse condition than this baby. When they got there, they noticed that, yes, the baby was hooked up to a ventilator still, but he was not getting any oxygen. Something was going on. In fact, he was cold to a touch. He essentially seemed to be passed away, to have already been dead. So he was rushed to the hospital where, again, they had lots of efforts to try to save his life. And unfortunately, it didn't. None of those life-saving efforts worked. It was then that police were called in, and actually the homicide case detectives were called in as well. And when the detectives arrived and saw that baby, they said they have never again seen anything like this in their life. Huge trigger warning coming up, you guys. We're going to be talking about some graphic things. The police said that the baby, his stomach was very extended, so it looked like he was pregnant. Not only that, his stomach was green. In addition, they said as soon as they saw the baby, he smelled like he was decomposing already. So he clearly had been gone for a while. This baby had ulcers gaping through his body to his muscles. Dozens of ulcers. He had no rectum. They said it was just like a big hole there where you could actually see his intestines and his spinal column. As if that's not bad enough, it gets worse. He had sepsis, bilateral pneumonia, stage 5 ulcers, and also, of course, very visibly seen child neglect. Police said this baby was rotting in his bed. They said that when they got to the home, it smelled of decomposition as well, meaning that this baby could have been dead for who knows how long, but more so than that, he was suffering since at least, they believe, the last few months, probably since October, the last time that the home health aides came to the house. The parents said, we didn't want anyone to come to the house because we were afraid that defects would come and take our other children. You freaking think? You should not have children. Sheriff Grady Judd from Polk County, Florida, did a press conference on this horrific case. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I've done this for 5 decades. I have seen thousands of children abused, hundreds of children murdered at the hands of parents. I have never seen the horror that we saw with this poor child at the hands of these 2 folks.
These monsters are behind bars right now facing aggravated manslaughter charges. To me, it should be way worse than that. It should be murder charges. And they're being held on $100,000 bond. You guys, this is one of the worst cases, if not the worst I have ever heard. I want to talk about this. I want to hear what you guys think. Let's discuss in the comments.